If you wanna ride, you better make up your mind and choose up. If you wanna roll in the passenger seat of my car, you better make up your mind and choose up.
What's going on? It's Jack Freeman. We back. This is the Jack of All Trades podcast. Got my man Ryan Rocket in the building. We're in our undisclosed location overlooking the city, baby. The city. It's been a few weeks, so I apologize. We had to, do my thing out there in Chicago. We did something after Chicago in New York, right? We did a show after that. And then went out to Austin for South by Southwest. So, just recovered, getting back in the swing of things. I think we missed 3 weeks, right? Missed 3 weeks. Sorry about that, guys. To the 5 listeners that listen, I apologize. How you doing, Rocket?
I'm doing good, man. A couple weeks ago, I was sick, so we couldn't do a show that week.
Yeah, one of those you were sick. Yeah, so blame Ryan Rocket for that.
Yeah, okay, mister. I had a family gathering, so I couldn't do the podcast.
He did. I did, man. My goddaughter turned 8 last week, so I had to go in there and check in on her. So, yeah, man, what's been up with you these last 3 weeks other than you being sick?
I've been good, man. Me and ESG working on a reformatted podcast. That's been going well. Check that up.
What's it called now?
It's called the Swang and Bang Podcast.
The Swang and Bang Podcast.
Yes. So check that out.
Shout out to ESG.
Yes, sir. Besides that, man, just grinding, working, usual shit. I go.
Ran into ESG at South by Southwest. A couple hours into me being there. So shout out to him, man. South by was okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of on the.
Well, why was it just okay this year?
Well, the music part of it is kind of on the downslope to me.
Okay.
I think it's it got really watered down in the last few years. And
now, when you say that, do you mean like there's too many pop people, or do you mean the quality of the music period is just not as good?
I think the quality of the events has gotten pretty old. I think that the corporations that came in and tried to capitalize on what South by really is with music came in and watered down everything. Actually, before I continue that, our guest today, we're going to have probably 2 guests today, but our guest right now is my guy Brandon Caldwell. He is a writer for Radio 1, mainly 97.9 and Magic 102 here in Houston, the digital platforms for them.
Yeah.
Formerly of Houston Press.
Yeah.
And then you do some freelance for other publications as well.
Yeah.
So he's a good guy to bring into this conversation. So what's up, Brando?
What's happening, baby?
Chilling, we just out here. Yeah, man. So, obviously we're talking about South by Southwest, and my view on it is for years, like I think South by had its heyday, right? Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people would say that the heyday is somewhere between 2009 and 2013 or 14.
I think the heyday concludes whenever they had the dude that ran over those people.
That was 14 or 15.
Yeah, like one of those years. So
yeah,
just listening in, yeah, I kind of agree. Like I did South by from 2010 up until 2016 or so. Like I did like 7 years straight, just taking a trip up to Austin, coming back on that Sunday music wise. And I was there when, there was this echelon of, Kanye's at South by, Jay-Z's at South by.
Mm-hmm.
T.I. is throwing a showcase, Rick Ross has a showcase. You have all these different people like coming in, and you like.
But you also, the other part of it is that the best years of South by also came around the time that some of our best new generation hip hop artists came out.
Right.
So when you talk about 2010 and 2011, you're also talking about Drake was out around that time. I don't know if he did a South by at all.
Nah,
but
he finally did a South by. He did Fader for it like 2 years ago, actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Then, with that, you got your Kendrick Lamar, your
J. Cole,
your Big Crits, your
Wiz Khalifa.
Currency had finally done his independent thing. Like, we know Currency been out for a long time, but his independent thing was moving at that time. You had
the crazy thing. I think the Smoking Section had all those dudes on one show.
Yes, they did. Yes,
at Peckerheads.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
and then I'm missing Wale. Yeah. Wale was around that time.
Freddie Gibbs.
A lot of these guys, Big Sean, a lot of these guys that came out around the same time, that new wave of guys that, your freshman cover 10 and 11 and 12, was definitely coming out to South by and doing their thing. And then once they saw once the corporation saw what type of foot traffic was coming in to Austin around that time and how they could monetize that with their rappers, like you started to see labels coming in and throwing money at venues that third-party promoters couldn't throw at the venues.
Definitely.
So, for instance, like let's say All-Star Weekend is in Houston, and let's say I'm a party promoter, and I know I can get this club any other night. I can get this club every Friday. That's what I do. You make a decent amount of money, and and everything is cool. Like it's just whatever this club is that I'm promoting that. All-Star Weekend comes in and was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna do this night, and we're gonna have some more. We're gonna have the same night, but it's gonna be more traffic because everybody wants to find something to do.
Right.
Well, you ain't doing that if Coca-Cola wants that particular space,
or Ciroc,
or
Hennessy, or name any type of like high end. Well, I wouldn't say Hennessy like super high end. Don't disrespect Hennessy, but. Like any type of major like liquor, beverage, like company that like kind of tied into the NBA and kind of tied into like black culture, like they're gonna want that venue. For
you're
that particular night.
You're not gonna out money any of these Fortune 500 corporations.
Yeah, remember when Doritos had like a big ass vending machine at South by?
They did. I remember that.
And then Lady Gaga one year performed at Stubbs, and it was awkward.
I remember that
she did some art pop type shit, and it was like, I'm sorry, what? Why are you throwing up everywhere?
Yeah. I remember that. That was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like there was. Like, I've seen some dope stuff at South by, but I've also seen some duds at South by, and it was just like one year there was a Red Bull did what was pretty much like a Roots picnic. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
Yeah, Red Bull basically had a stage, an outdoor stage downtown, and the Roots played the whole night, but they had like Erykah Badu and Common and
anybody that's like so
Black Dog performed. Just anybody that didn't get probably. This might have been pre-Most Def going to Africa and doing whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
But it was like it was a great show. Like it was dope. But it was similar to what a Roots picnic would have been like. They had Kanye at the power plant with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And that was all the good music and all that. And that's when it got corporate.
Yeah.
That's when it was like, because Vivo sponsored that. Now you got YouTube stages, you got the Pandora House, you got the Spotify House, you got Apple Music, you got Revolt. But what they're doing is they're taking care of the interests of the artists that they have relationships with, and not artists that are up and coming.
Yeah, sure.
So if Def Jam wants to if Def Jam wants to put on a showcase, then guess who they're going to put on there?
Yeah.
Everybody signed to Def Jam. Which, if they're going to do that for 3 nights in a row, then that's one less venue that somebody that can get, independent acts on.
Yeah.
It cuts down on the stage.
And I think this year, more than anything, there was an emphasis on all the labels, like the younger acts on the labels. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, 300, mostly their big star that they had at South by this year was Megan Thee Stallion.
Right.
And Megan, if you've heard of Megan, and you've heard
at this
of Megan.
Point, you've heard of Megan. Yeah.
At this point, you've heard Big Old Freak. At this point, you've watched a video or two of Megan, throwing ass in a circle.
Yeah.
Or any other direction that contains like
She's very
circle movement.
talented.
She's very talented at a lot of different things.
Yes.
So like it was a lot of the ladies just kind of came through and killed it at South by this year, but it was different mainly because it's now you don't have as many major acts. One, so it's kind of going back to discovery. In that sense, but I think that if you try to pull it back towards discovery, well, you let the monster out of that already by letting all them. It's more established acts perform. Like you can't go back. You're too far gone.
Yeah. I mean, like
you've already opened Pandora's box.
I mean, it's like it's a weird analogy, but it's like track, right? Track and field for years has been a sport where guys run world class times. Mm-hmm. Well, if the field for the next 5 to 10 years is all doing steroids and they're all running blistering times, if they cut out all of that stuff, nobody wants to see guys running 10 flat anymore in 100. Yeah. They want to see the guy who just ran 9.5. You know what I'm saying? Or nobody wants to watch a 45 homer guy anymore.
There you go. I was about to say it's more like along the lines of baseball.
You want to see somebody hit 60, 70 home runs, which nobody's done that since the last person that was on steroids doing it.
Yeah.
Like nobody's hit 60 home runs. I don't even know how many people have hit 50. You know what I'm saying?
Stanton was the last person. He hit 59 with 132 RBI the year before he signed to the Yankees.
Yeah. So that's what it's been. So like everybody's kind of going expecting to see Jay-Z and T.I. and 2 Chainz or Future or Nicki Minaj, whoever their favorite artist is.
Cardi B, yeah.
And it ain't happening no more. Not right now.
Nah.
Because it's gotten, I guess South by has kind of made a more conscious effort to try to dial that back. I don't know what it is, but now it's just really gotten watered down. And it just seemed like the corporations came and picked over everything and then left and moved on. And now the new thing is Coachella or Rolling Loud or Bonnaroo. And, everybody wants to go where the dope festivals are.
True.
So what do y'all think like the new South by Southwest is for a new artist to break through? Because I feel like that used to be South by Southwest, but it's not anymore. So what do you think is a new place for an artist to break through?
It probably is Rolling Loud. Because Rolling Loud it's Miami, and also they have one in L.A.
But I think the thing with Rolling Loud is, and which is a problem that I run into, is when you got festivals like that, you got to be with a talent agency. Because they want to go through all of these talent agencies. With South by, you don't necessarily have to be with a talent agency. Like I'm not with a talent agency, but when you're at places where they only have like 1 or 2 stages, that makes for a thing where it's like, okay, look, we want artists that we think people are going to come see,
right?
And so,
and that's also how you end up getting these festivals keep booking like the same talent over and over again to the point where it's like, if somebody tells you they're doing the festival circuit, look and pick through all the names that are on that exact same bill where you go from Coachella to Bonnaroo to Roots to a lot of Roll Loud, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that it still is a place. It's the only festival of that size where you can be a new artist or independent artist up and coming and get heard by somebody.
Right, and then somebody gonna write about you afterwards.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna get signed.
Yeah,
you're probably not gonna get. There's a good chance that you're not gonna get many great looks, but you also got to be put on quality bills too. If you're gonna be put on a bill that people are, these people that are actually looking for something are going to. Actually, the best thing about South by at this point is interactive in film.
Oh yeah,
interactive in film is probably best for anybody to go to. People that have startups, people that have podcasts, people that have websites or want to start marketing businesses.
Try to figure out what the next big thing in technology is.
Yeah, or wanting to start your own festival.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have seminars on that. Actually, Us, the movie, opened South by this year. Stacey Abrams came and did a panel this year.
Like my favorite thing about when I was at South by last year was this panel that I sat in on it was Andre Harrell and Teddy Riley.
Oh yeah.
And they was just talking music for like 2 hours straight.
Yeah, that's dope.
So Teddy was telling all his Michael Jackson stories when he worked on Dangerous.
Yeah.
And how Mike literally brought Teddy's whole family from New York out to LA just so he could feel comfortable and at home while recording Dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think I find more fun just listening to storytellers, like listening to in on the panels as opposed to going to shows. Because when I was younger, like first getting started in music and writing about music, going to shows was like the thing. Like if you got access to this show, then bro, you were in there.
Yeah.
And
Fader 4 used to be like the thing to try to get into.
It did.
Now it's not so much. Even though this year the Chop Stars did a DJ set there, which was dope.
Yeah.
Other than that, the bill has been kind of. It's just been a weird.
Yeah.
South by's in a weird position, but I think it's just shifted more towards interactive, more towards film. They need to figure out what they're going to do with music, and I mean, I think it still should be there, but I think they just need to do a better job of
I'll tell you when South by peaked for me. It peaked 2013 on a Saturday night. You know, the Saturday night is usually like the last.
Saturday night is the last night where everything is. Yeah.
Like if you're on 6th Street during South by Saturday night, it's almost like you had the Texas Relays,
right?
Because it's just a whole bunch of people out
and
there.
Now it
doing
looks like the Texas
nothing.
Relays,
and now it legit. Yeah, you're right. Legit looks like the Relays.
Yeah.
So on this particular Saturday in 2013, Justin Timberlake is performing at one venue. And this is just when 2020 Part 1 came out.
That was when they tried to bring back MySpace.
Yes.
And I'm going to finish this for him. So he's performing at a MySpace event.
Yep.
Prince is down the street.
Yeah,
doing a secret show.
But it ain't just Prince. It's Prince and Tribe Called Quest.
Oh, yeah. All of Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
And then I'm upstairs. I'm in a venue at a StubHub showcase where Big Crit is performing.
Yes.
There was a night where it might have been the same year where Kanye and Jay-Z did the power plant.
Yes.
On the other side of downtown, Diddy was with, was it Lil B?
Yeah, it was Lil. He was at Fader for it. Lil B was at Fader for it.
Diddy was at Fader for it. Who else? Snoop was around somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They did the
wasn't it
the West Coast?
It was a West Coast
thing.
show, and it was also a tribute to Nate Dogg because Nate Dogg
died
passed
that year.
the year before at South by. Yeah, not
there
at
was
South by, but during South
during
by.
the week. Yeah, like the day before the music portion started. I remember that year because it was like one of those things. Oh, LL Cool J was walking around.
Yeah, I remember that.
DJ Premier was on the streets.
Yeah.
Like literally this was all happening at one time.
Damn.
And I said, if you ever wanted to kill hip hop, all you had to do was drop a bomb on Austin that day. Because everybody who was anybody that was in hip hop that had anything to do with hip hop having what it had at that moment, they were there. All of Good Music was at this power plant show.
Yeah.
John Legend was there too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was the craziest. That was the peak.
Yeah.
That was the peak. And that's when I was like, okay, this is going to get huge.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got huge. And then the next year.
The very next year after we said it got huge, a dude got drunk, was getting chased by the cops, and instead of slowing down and saying, nope, I'm going to chill, he ends up plowing to a bunch of people outside of a Tyler the Creator show.
Yeah, he drove through a barricade. The street was blocked.
Mm-hmm.
He drove through a barricade, and he ran into 22 people.
Yeah.
And 4 died on the scene. And while he was locked up, 2 more died. Mm-hmm. So he had 6 counts of like vehicular manslaughter or murder or whatever. I think, first degree.
Capital.
Now, this is also around
Texas capital murder. Yeah.
This is around the time that the white boy, the affluenza kid, killed those people for being drunk. He got probation.
Yeah.
They gave this kid life in prison. He was 20, 21 years old. At that moment, at the time that it happened, I was actually watching the premiere of Jimi Hendrix movie that Andre 3000 did. Yeah. So we did All Was By My Side, and when I got to my phone died. So when I got to the car, I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
And it just after that,
yeah,
I knew I wasn't going in 2015, so I didn't. I came back for the Axe thing with John Legend in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Did I do 2017?
I don't know if you did 2017. I didn't do 2017. I know I did 2018 because we ran into each other at the Gorham Brothers show.
Yeah, I did 2018 I did the Gorham Brothers show, and I did the Sheraton that Saturday.
Yeah,
and then this year came back. So my shows were cool. My shows were great. Actually, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. This Gorham show is better than the last one.
I don't know, though. Your parents was at the Gorham Brothers show
last year. They were at this one too.
Oh, okay. You had all of the you had all of our Anglo-Saxon friends dancing
Absolutely.
and buying hats.
All the Anglos were in the building.
So this was a step above, is what you're trying to tell me?
This was a Saturday night. The last hour of the
store being open.
Yeah.
Wait, you put lips on them, didn't you? You cut lips on and okay, yeah. Shit got wild. Okay,
then the showcase South by San Jose across the street, that outdoor thing that let out when I was starting. Mike, the shopkeeper at Gorham Brothers in Austin, was he told me I could play as long as I wanted to. We had the whole band there. It was extremely packed in there.
Oh yeah.
Even more so than the last time. They broke the single day sales record,
which you set last year.
I set it last year. We did. I think they did like right at 11,000 last year. And they had never had a $10,000 day at that shop. Then this past year, this year, someone broke it earlier that week. The one day they broke it, they got to like 13,000. And I was like, all right. So Saturday, I was like, we're definitely gonna break this one. So we got to like 13.7, I want to say. So shout out to Gorham Brothers. You guys have heard me mention it. I think Crystal was the one talking about my hat. That she liked my blue hat. That if you look find me on Instagram, I am Jack Freeman. That hat's sitting around somewhere on my Instagram.
Yeah,
and
I'm somewhere in the background of that picture.
Yes,
that hat.
absolutely. So this is the shop that I'm talking about, Gorham Brothers. I actually had the chance the honor and the pleasure of meeting Mr. Ben Gorin, who is the CEO and the owner of the company. He came down. He didn't get to catch the show, but we met, chopped it up the day before. I think some really cool things are going to come from that. So this particular one, it was kind of bumping, my dude. It was live.
It's cool.
I hate that you missed it, man.
Look, we had to shoot a station. Let's say the station. We had a whole freaking show the night before your show with Summer Walker, Division, and Allie Brooke. It was crazy. Like I knew it was gonna be a little different because Summer Walker has "Girls Need Love" as a record, but I was not prepared to hear 3,000 women sing "I Just Need Some Dick." I was not really prepared for that moment.
So here's my question.
Go ahead.
I've seen little
clips,
cell phone videos and clips of her performing. How is she as a performer, in your opinion?
Imagine a coffee house singer that also looks like that she used to strip on the side.
Well, she does strip.
Yes.
She did strip.
Yes. So vocally, she's rather impressive. I would say that she doesn't give you like the big belting like Monica Brandy ballad vocal.
Yeah.
But she can carry a solid melody. I might say she's not off pitch. It legit sounds like it does on the album. And I can see it for her. Like sometimes she will literally sit there on her stool. She don't do too much movement.
Is it an engaging performance?
I would say so.
Okay, so here's my question, and I don't know enough about Summer Walker, so that's why I'm asking. I've only seen clips, and to be fair, I have this question about a lot of artists. are you captivating on stage because you're a good performer, or are you captivating on stage because you got a hit record?
And basically, you're waiting, like you as an audience member are waiting for that big record, the hit record. I used to think that about Ella May, and then I saw Ella May perform last Sunday, and I was like, okay, no, Ella May is she's kind of a captivating performer.
Like I don't have that. I don't have any question about her.
Yeah,
like I've seen that. With her. Like her is like, she's an amazing performer.
Oh yeah. Like her is gonna have you in your seat. You just might say, remember the chick writhing around 5 Heartbeats? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's her. That's her.
So, but artists.
I was gonna ask what about SZA too, but can we be
they
honest?
Be on SZA's head, man. They be on SZA's head about her show, and I've never seen a SZA show. I've seen clips of the SZA show.
I have seen this. I saw the SZA show when I got back here after Harvey, and the crowd. This was back when her vocals was like just straight, like wasn't nothing like no health elements of it. So she was straight. She was cool, but them clips of everything ever since, and the pronunciation of Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thursday.
What is Thursday? Ryan, help me out. What is Thursday?
They killing her, man. They really are killing her on that. And I try to approach these things on the mic, at least, with care, because I never want to sound like the angry, hating ass artist that sees people that get on, but
the mad rapper.
Yeah, but I have to, but I can't. I have to acknowledge the fact that
my shit more John Blaze than that.
What I would honestly say is that a lot of these artists are hitting really big before they're ready.
Yeah,
and artist development is very important.
True.
No matter what we think, artist development is like, and it may not even be your show. It may be your interviews. It may not be your interviews. It may be your show. It may not be either one of those. It may be just like you only caught one song and then the rest of your songs are terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it happens that way. And then,
or you're still the performer that decides to perform over your own vocals, which as a rap fan,
I think that is the laziest.
As an R&B fan, it is the laziest form of performance ever.
I don't like it.
I was at a show. I literally drove in from Dallas just to catch a show because somebody on the bill I love and I care about, she was performing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to cut my trip in Dallas short just to go see this performance. Mm-hmm. Now, thanks to 45 traffic being 45 traffic, I missed her set. Mm-hmm. But I stayed around long enough to kind of catch everybody else that was performing. When you have to yell at the crowd to turn up, but you are literally rapping over your own vocals, you give me no reason to turn up, bruh.
Right. And
like
so
none.
I just feel like you may really like, and I get it. Like, I don't know if I turned down the check either when I was when like, for instance, did I ever tell you the Frankie Beverly and Mays story?
Oh, this is hilarious.
Maybe not.
So,
this is hilarious.
When I was 2012, I had one EP out. One EP. Nobody knew who I was. I had done a couple of features for some artists. I did it. By then, I had done music with Les and the Nice Guys.
Tell the Nice Guys to put the show on streaming services.
That'll never happen. God. I doubt it'll ever happen. Shout out to the Nice Guys. And who else had I done music with by then? This was D-Lo.
Yeah.
Definitely done with D-Lo, right? So,
because that was you and D-Lo tag teaming on that show, right?
Yeah. So DeLorean calls me and he says, "Hey, my dad is throwing a concert in Tyler, and it's Fantasia and Frankie Beverly and Mays, and he wants me to open." But he's like, "Look, man, I'm a rapper, and I don't really think them folks gonna really come to see me. So what I would rather do is have you come and we do the songs that we got together, and then you do like a couple of your songs, and then we could just split the money my dad's gonna pay us. I was like, shit, Frankie Beverly Mays, I'm there. Mm-hmm. So we go into this arena like thing. It was what was the name of it? It's in Tyler. It's called the
I was going to Juggler's Hill. Was it the Palmer Sound Arena?
No,
because again, Tyler, Texas, all you can really do is like drink and just go to college.
It was called. I can't remember the name of it. The Oil Palace. That's what it's called. It's called
close enough.
It's called the Oil Palace.
Close enough. It's close. That's close to Palmer Sound.
Like they throw like wrestling events there, and it's like it's probably like the size of the Baby Dome.
Okay, yeah,
probably bigger actually. All right. And for those who don't know what the Baby Dome is, first of all, you're a loser because you didn't go to PV. Second, the Baby Dome is the basketball arena that Prairie View A&M University, plays basketball in.
And won SWAC this year.
And won the SWAC.
Not just regular season, but the tourney.
And a fight go with that. So it was about that size. Just think of your average, mid-major college arena. So we get there, and I'm like, yes, I'm absolutely finna open for Frankie Beverly and Mays and Fantasia. Like, this is dope. I got there, and looking back on it, like, I think I did a pretty decent job, but looking back on it, I was not ready for that stage. I wasn't ready for it. Not because mentally I wasn't ready, but performance-wise I wasn't there. And what typically happens is these artists, they throw a song on SoundCloud or they hit TuneCore and they throw the song up there on all the streaming platforms. Mm-hmm. And a year later, like LMA happened, the song catches and then it goes viral. And then the song catches immediately. Well, then because of that, you then have to start doing shows to this. You now have a marketplace where you can go and actually tour. And you have at least a place where you can do 200 seaters wherever you go. Sometimes 2,000 seaters, whatever the case may be. But a lot of these artists aren't prepared to get on stage and perform a show. And it may be because you don't have enough music. It may be because you don't have enough performance, acumen, or, you don't have enough skill. You don't do enough rehearsing to do it. So when you sit there and you perform your songs and you, maybe have been relying on auto-tune this whole time.
Or a backing track.
And you ain't got them. Because first of all, to travel with a sound guy that has auto-tune and all that kind of stuff, that's not cheap, bro. It's not cheap at all. So when you don't have that to help you out, when you don't have the confines of your living room to like figure it out, and you got to figure it out in front of 2,000 people, that can be a really bad situation for you. And so when you don't get developed, you go on stage in front of these people. And I'm saying that because there's so many artists now that want the big stage right now.
Yeah,
niggas want to go to the NBA straight out of junior high school. And then you get out there and they like, oh, these niggas hooping out here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like when you see artists, like there's not a lot of new artists that I would go and see.
I felt that way a lot like recently. The moment I realized like, I think I've seen all my legends that I really want to see. It did. Anita Baker says, "Hey, I'm coming to Texas,"
and then you couldn't get a ticket.
Nigga, no, I can't get a damn ticket.
I think it's like I really be wanting to. The Frankie Beverly and Mays show taught me exactly what I needed to do from here on out.
Exactly.
Because I didn't have no band. It was just a DJ, all that kind of stuff. They were just playing our track. I don't even think we had a DJ. I think somebody in the sound booth was just playing our music, right? Mm. But I took the moment to go out into the crowd when I was done. And I watched Frankie Beverly and Mays. I watched Fantasia, too. Fantasia's an amazing performer. Mm. Like, Fantasia was 7 months pregnant. And she jumped out there, and the first thing she did was kick her shoes off, and she stood on a subwoofer and was singing her face off, like drenched in sweat, like the meme of Fantasia. Mm-hmm. Like that's how she looked at the end of that show.
Right. I put it to you like this, because I've seen Fantasia like this killer crowd. Right. If Fantasia bottom lip ain't quivering, She ain't really.
She ain't really getting it in at all. Frankie Beverly and Mays got up there. This was right before Frankie started having the issues with his voice, and I think there was rumors that he had throat cancer and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
2 straight hours of hits and hit after hit after hit. This man ain't put an album on in 30 years. Hit after hit after hit, and the crowd was on a feet like the whole time. And I learned, right, that was one of the best concerts I ever been to.
Yeah.
Them, Earth, Wind & Fire, and D'Angelo. D'Angelo's the best one I've ever, my favorite one.
All right. Mine would be that Prince show at South by.
I hate that I missed that shit.
Nigga, like...
I never got to see Prince.
Over time, it's now become the most surreal performance I've ever witnessed because
it's Prince.
Because it's Prince, and then also Phife is gone from Tribe.
Phife is gone, yeah.
So it's like, so that show is like crystalline in my head forever.
Yeah.
Outkast at Hangout Fest in 2014. I literally drove from here to Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Jeez,
to go see Outkast.
And Outkast is my favorite group of all time. But Outkast is another example of that, though.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why, guys, you know why you probably will never hear an Andre 3000 album is because his stage fright is so bad that it's debilitating for him. I watched him at Coachella, and I watched it from my YouTube stream when they went on that tour, the 20th anniversary, right before they did Hangout Fest and all that kind of stuff. Their first show was Coachella.
Yeah.
And when they got to doing the Love Below songs, and he did She Lives in My Lap, it was uncomfortable for me to watch Andre because Andre didn't. He looked really, really uncomfortable on stage, and for a guy that's been doing that for this long, I knew that it wasn't because he's a bad performer. I just think that there's an anxiety there, and that's another thing about artists. If you have terrible anxiety, the last thing you want to do is sing on stage or rap on stage.
Yeah.
It's not like, let's say, I would say the biggest crowd I've ever performed in front of was 3,000 people a couple of times. Anthony Hamilton and Live After 5 with
Magic. Yeah.
With Magic. We had 1,300, 1,400, something like that at
was it Life Jennings?
Life Jennings. I've done a couple of like maybe 2,500 in Warehouse. Probably for like that Paul Wall Millionaire show.
Yeah.
Then there was the Gentleman Jack show that I did that they didn't want me on in the first place, and somebody convinced them to put me on it, and Phife Dawg was headlining it.
Yeah.
And then the promoter apologized to me after I was done.
I remember.
Like it was weird because I went on and then the Nice Guys came on.
Yeah.
And it was like, so that was
and this is before Jack Daniels started doing art beats and lyrics too, which is kind of hilarious.
No, this was Art Beats and Lyrics.
Was like the early ones though, right?
Yeah, it was the really early ones, but it was in the big room at Warehouse.
Oh yeah,
and because like the next year they had Scarface,
right? And now they've moved it to doing over at Minute Maid, and they kind of opened it up to mostly art space and like artists and stuff right there.
Yeah.
And then like they'll have like DJs in like the main area.
Yeah. So like I've done that, and I've gone on stage with a group and without a band, and with like I've done those types of things. Right. It's a nerve-wracking situation if you aren't really comfortable in, and it's like playing sports. It's like playing basketball. If you're not comfortable in your game, you're not gonna really ball the way you want to ball, right?
But do y'all think the audience really values the performance anymore?
I don't think young people do because they've never seen a great performance.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
The average 22-year-old has never seen D'Angelo in concert.
Yeah.
The average 22-year-old probably don't even know who Earth, Wind & Fire is. The average 18-year-old has no idea who Maxwell is, or
check the numbers, bitch.
Or check the numbers, bitch. That rap wise, the average 18-year-old ain't going to a Jay-Z concert.
Yeah.
They're not going to a they'll go to a Kanye show, and I think that if you cut out the bullshit, Kanye's one of the greatest hip hop performers we might have ever seen.
All right. So in Kanye's term, right, the best Kanye show I have ever been to, bar none. Like if it's his solo Kanye,
Yeah.
Glow in the Dark tour.
Yeah. Everybody's consensus is that the best show that they've ever seen from him was Glow in the Dark.
Yeah.
Now the consensus second has always been Watch the Throne.
Correct.
And then Yeezus was always like maybe third or fourth.
Right. Because it's Kanye on the mountain.
Right.
Right.
But then there's a pocket of people who got to see Kanye at the Fader Ford.
Yeah.
With the original good music.
Right. There's also a consensus of people that saw Kanye do late registration with an orchestra.
Late orchestration. Yeah. So like,
but nobody's gonna say St. Paulo was their favorite Kanye show because
he was tripping.
He was not only was he tripping, I just find it weird that if you're in the mosh pit area, that shit is like the time of your life. But if you're in the audience, like in a seat,
you're like, looking at everybody else.
You're just watching. It's
you're
like,
just a kid in timeout watching everybody have recess.
It's like Bob Dylan's Ballad of a Thin Man. Like you're just literally looking at things, asking like, wait a second, am I the weird one for watching y'all do this?
Right.
Or are y'all the weird ones?
Yeah.
Because y'all voluntarily chose to jump around to music that is sad. Like, Like
it's
Pablo, like some of them Pablo records, like you really like break it down, they are sad ass songs.
This nigga's dying.
And these niggas is like legit losing their mind, jumping up and around.
I mean, I would say the best, and I still have to see him. But from what I've seen of him, I think that torch goes to
Travis?
Nah. Kendrick.
Oh, yeah.
I give it to Kendrick.
Good show.
Because
to
me, Travis is a lot of auto-tune and pyrotechnics, and it's a big show, and I understand it. But when he was unknown and performing
and fighting niggas in the audience,
his swag was on zero. So I think that for him, he has to have a song that everyone loves for him to be gassed up for it. That's what I think. But Kendrick, the very first time I saw Kendrick, I saw him Section 80, his first show in Houston, when it was 300 people in the studio room at Warehouse. And Schoolboy Q was his hype man. And he freaked out because OG Ron C was behind him. And he came out and he walked through the crowd and spoke to everybody. Like, Kendrick was a performer then.
I remember my first Kendrick experience was South by either it was 2011, 2012. It was 2011. Like, this is right before Section 80 came out. This is when he had the Kendrick, the overly dedicated EP. Like, he performed Michael Jordan at Peckerheads. Like, when I tell you the building,
that's when he used to perform that shit.
I was like, oh,
actually,
different.
Actually, I think that show that I saw was right before Section 80.
That, you kind of really like, no, okay, that little motherfucker is different.
No, he's cold. He cold. And I also think Crit's an amazing performer.
Oh, bro,
Crit is high energy, all the time. Crit runs through Crit will ruin a whole shirt up there. Sweating. Another guy I saw at Smokers Club that I had never seen, but I got a chance to see him, and I was like, yo, this is dope. Method Man.
He's a great performer.
Yeah, Method Man's
a great performer now.
You said this on Twitter yesterday. We were talking about Juvenile. Talking about a dude that never lost the ability to rap. Method Man is a dude that's never lost the ability to throw in a fire ass performance.
Method Man is
him
dope,
and Redman.
Those guys, man. And I want people, but you know what? I think with artists now, there is no incentive, and I get it that you want to be able to create your own path and all that kind of stuff, but you want to start, you want to watch and study artists that came before you a little bit so that you know how to perform up there.
Remember when everybody tried to do the Jay-Z, just stand and perform and kind of just do left to right, side to side?
Which is cool if your bars is tight, but if your bars ain't tight, then I don't really care what you have to say.
Yeah, like
You know what I'm saying? Like this is like I just saw Rico Love posted on Instagram. He was talking about he's promoting his music conference, and he said he had this Jay-Z story where like they were on the Truth Tour with Usher because he wrote Throwback for Usher,
right,
and they were doing the version. He was on tour with Usher doing the version where he raps, where he has a verse on it,
right,
and he said that he goes up there, he does his verse, and he comes off the stage and he's going back to the dressing room, and Jay-Z is there, like in the backstage, and Jay-Z was like, "Yo, come here." And he said, "Yo, man, you really can't rap." He said, "But he said you really can't rap, but you got to give people a chance to like feel you. So you hype on stage, but nobody got a chance to get hype with you because you didn't give them an opportunity to really feel what you were saying in the rap." He said, "So next time you go out there, go to the middle of the stage and stand there and rap and perform, do the hand movements and do all that kind of stuff. Give them 8 bars and then do the rest of the verse the way you got it. But you want people to catch
build it up.
Yeah.
They can, like, just
you want
sense
their
your
attention.
energy. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's really there's an art to performing. And I don't think that a lot of artists really care about that.
Right.
I think they just want the bag. But I'm here to tell you that when the music stops selling and you can't get another record out, you have to keep, in order to keep the lights on, you're gonna have to keep performing. And you can't keep being a bad performer.
Yeah, no. Like, you know who I thought was going to be a bad performer, but come to find out was actually pretty damn good?
Who?
Cardi.
Yeah. She's pretty good. Like from what I've been seeing, she's I think what it is she's doing a lot of her personality on stage. She's moving around. She's a she's a stripper. So she's used to being in front of everybody.
Yeah, but I also think that she's a theater kid too.
Yeah, that too.
Like
when
you got both those worlds mesh at the rodeo itself, I was like, yo, I don't know if she can really like kill it like for 40 minutes for 75,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, is she capable of pulling this off with the limited amount of material that she has technically? And I was like, well, I'll be damned.
I've heard mixed things about Cardi, actually.
About her performance.
Yeah, I've heard people who are really hyped for it be disappointed, and I've heard people who didn't expect much and they were pleasantly surprised by it.
I think what you have to, I think the people that didn't love it probably were people that came in with these high expectations that she was going to be Beyonce.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be, we ain't doing that. We're not going to go that far.
No,
you know what I'm saying? But if you just there to have a good time and just listen to Cardi rap the shit that you've been listening to in your car for the last year or two, then you gonna have a good time, especially if you've been drinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
drink and do ratchet shit.
Like, Cardi is to women. Well, I'll say this: Cardi and Megan, like, their records right now are to women what fight music was to us, like back in that era.
It's crunk music for women.
It definitely is crunk music.
It's crunk music for women.
Like,
and instead of fighting, they twerking.
They twerking. Like,
I'm not mad at none of it
at all. Like, I will legit like hug a wall and be like, yeah, have fun.
You do exactly that.
Or I will catch myself rapping along the Big Old Freak. Why? Because the woman next to me is throwing hella ass to this record, and she's rapping along with her homegirls.
Thank you so much.
And I'm like,
Megan.
I'm like, appreciate you.
Random quick y'all's take on this.
Shit.
So my co-host on the Gems and Juice podcast, Jasmine, she's a lovely young lady, but she's also
Jasmine,
shout out to her.
She has this hot take that I was shocked, but she went to go see a Pink show.
Okay.
So wait, how many rings did Pink kind of go through in all them damn hoops?
She said,
how many goddamn
I don't know
lifts and aerial swinging
trapeze and shit.
Go ahead.
She went ahead and said this show was amazing, and I asked her on a scale of mediocre to Beyonce, how good was this show?
She said it was better than Beyonce?
It was more entertaining than any Beyonce show she had seen. So,
Jasmine, we love your humanity. We respect your humanity.
Look.
But I'll be goddamned if you say a Pink show is better than a Beyonce show. I'm sorry.
I have never seen Pink perform. There's not a Pink song that makes me want to see her perform.
that's my main takeaway.
Yeah.
So I can't say that she's good or bad. I just know that every time she's performing, she's swinging around on somebody's.
There are a lot of acrobatics involved.
I'm just saying,
It's like
she
Cirque du
looked like
Soleil.
Dick Grayson up
No
there,
matter
man.
what. She's been doing that shit for
I'm waiting
years.
for something awkward to happen.
I need her to not.
But I'll be goddamned
Yeah,
if you tell me
Jasmine,
that lady is here.
Different. Yes.
Different, maybe. I'll give you different. But in terms like right now living, there is no greater showman in music than Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter.
Okay.
No.
I think after that, somewhere close to that would probably be like Janelle Monáe.
Yeah.
Bruno's good.
Yeah,
Bruno's really good.
But I say, wait, how much white has Bruno had that day?
Look. Whatever it is, it's good.
I'm just saying, man.
Whatever it is, it's
that
some
24
good.
Karat Magic album was possessed by the spirit of all the following people on drugs.
Yeah.
Teddy Riley,
Okay.
James Brown,
Oh yeah, Book of Sugar.
Bobby Brown,
And
Jodeci, and a little bit of Jodeci sprinkled in.
You got to throw a little Aaron
Bruno
Hall in there,
Mars.
too.
Bruno Mars, I believe, wishes he was a member of Jodeci. Like back in the day, he
Bruno
wishes
is
so much.
Bruno's dope, man. And for years, I was like,
Did you call him the Hawaiian Punch Man? Because he kind of looks like the Hawaiian Punch Man.
I didn't. But I was just like, when the You're Amazing Just the Way You Are, when those was coming out.
The
Like I
B.O.B.
wasn't
records
really
started coming out,
when the pop records was doing this thing. I wasn't really that engaged, but I had to like really sit and be like, no, these are really well written songs. I just don't necessarily listen to them.
Right.
Like he makes amazing music. He's a great writer, man. He's a great performer. He does his thing out there, man, and he's definitely gonna be one. He's definitely one of those Vegas residency type of artist.
Yeah. So,
but I'm glad you brought up Cardi.
All right.
Because we're gonna switch gears here.
Oh God, are we gonna be breaking down why niggas believe that drugging and robbing somebody should not be equivalent to sexually assaulting somebody?
Okay, so for context, for anybody that's been off of social media and all of these things,
I thought we was about to talk about Aunt Becky trying to scam all them.
Oh no, we're gonna get to that too. We're definitely gonna get to that too. So, typically on my show we do, we talk about your origin and like where you came from and how you got to writing. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But we shooting the shit today.
We know that. We shooting shit. Fuck all that.
So, if you haven't been paying attention, an old video and I knew it was an old video because she didn't have her teeth fixed. No, it was when she didn't. That was when her teeth.
That's a very astute point, though.
I knew it was. Like, when I looked at it, I was like, her teeth ain't fixed. This is old. But she got on IG. Cardi B got on IG Live, and she was talking about all the things that she had to do to survive, or the things that she felt she had to do to survive. While being in the strip club game and doing her thing before she was rapping, before she was on
Love and Hip Hop,
before
she was legit,
before she was Cardi B,
social media star.
Yeah,
like we talking like the early.
Yeah, back when Joe Budden was tipping her. Shout out to Joe Budden. Because Joe Budden always talk about when the Cardi he knew at such and such strip club.
Yeah.
So, but one of the things that she said was she would guys that wanted to have sex with her, she would take back to a hotel room and drug them and then rob them. Okay. The other one that she said was that, I don't know if she was serious or not, but she said that, there's more than one way to get back at your man for cheating. And that way is to take a little bit of whatever drug him, get him really drugged. And then when y'all about to have sex, you bring a trans woman in, and when you wake up, you've had sex with a trans.
Yeah.
And then you've gone. Okay. So How do you guys feel about that? Like, cause I'm gonna just chill. Like, I'm gonna chill for right now. I'm gonna give mine when y'all are done.
All
but
right.
Continue.
Thanks for putting me on the spot, Brother Freeman. We here at the good folks of the sanctuary that is Brandon Caldwell and his line of logic.
Yeah.
I am like, look, bruh, the woman came from an environment in which literally there are dudes who will kill women at any sense of rejection. Like a whole bunch of niggas that look like Myron from Players Club turning mad murderous
Myron.
in case when shit goes wrong. Now, I will say this. I have been propositioned for sex by a stripper at a strip club. In fact, it was a stripper in New Orleans that did this, and I think we all have. I was like, you know what, babe? I enjoy your accent and all that, but I got work in the morning, and I ain't trying to lose no money going with you because Lord knows what could happen.
But you had work in the morning. You made that money back.
Shit. No. Because I got to drive 6 hours to get the money first, bro.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
So, for what she said in these two old IG Live videos, one, to say that, to drug your man and have him sleep with a woman who has transitioned or is in the process of transitioning, I mean, it's dark. It's a little fucked up. But if that's your ministry, then by all means, go for it. As to the first one, I'm not about to sit here and try to be mad at Cardi B for telling me, hey, look, if somebody try to proposition me for sex and I don't trust this dude, for one, I'm going to drug this dude and rob this dude. Well, that's your prerogative. Like, it's not sexual assault because guess what? You didn't sleep with him. It's just simple assault. And given the fact that I have listened to people talk about raping women on records, drugging women on records, fighting women on records, the entirety of Niggas for Life by NWA, I can't listen to the same way no more. I'm like, okay, and the thing about it is why I say I'm like, okay, and is because I think we've now reached a point with Cardi where it's like, what can be said that really is going to bring Cardi down? And I think that there are many hills to die on with Cardi B trying to stop her own bag, but this ain't going to be the one. Like, it's going to have to be some real. I think that depends on whether or not
whatever corporation she's aligned with really value what they talking about.
Exactly. Because right now, she has bags coming in from Fashion Nova, Pepsi.
I don't think Fashion Nova gives a shit.
No, Fashion Nova may not care.
Yeah, Pepsi might.
Pepsi may like,
this is Pepsi also thinks that you can give a cop a Coke, a Pepsi, and it'll be all right.
So to me, I think really this is gonna blow over because again, we are now in a culture where if anybody does anything we don't necessarily agree with, we instantly want to cancel them. In particular, well, we may get to this later, but I don't really believe cancel culture exists in the real world.
It doesn't, but
I believe cancel culture may exist on Twitter. It may exist on IG, but in the real world, I can legit go outside and just be chilling in my backyard or something. One of my neighbors is playing Your Body's Calling by R. Kelly, and I'm like, I will make a face. I'm like, ugh.
Because he ain't got no Twitter.
But cancel culture did result in real life issues for them. Like Bill Cosby, people knew about him for years. Mm-hmm. Nobody said anything until, who was it? The comedian Hannibal Buress went on. Yeah. And then that resulted in real life consequences for him. Same thing with R. Kelly.
I think a lot of times we think of cancel culture, we're thinking of not, I would say, like legal things that you can legit go get people after.
Yeah, like
right?
these people that you're mentioning are people that are like currently or in the past had to deal with the judicial system.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do anything. We just can watch you burn in court. But when it comes down to people that like Kanye, for instance, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to cancel Kanye. Kanye tripping. Kanye said a lot of stupid shit. Mm-hmm. Kanye looks like he's trying to get us back in his good graces by performing gospel songs every Sunday,
which is almost like the OJ equivalent of going to black church.
See, I said that on Twitter that day. Yeah, and but in the end, Kanye didn't break any laws. Like Kanye didn't.
So you're saying cancel culture doesn't exist in terms of a controversial statement that somebody said?
Yeah, you say something. You say something crazy. Maybe you do something crazy. People are like, oh, you canceled. I ain't canceled nobody.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Well, Sabrina Claudia may be the only person I ever heard of like actually got like.
Yeah, but that's because she was also saying racist ass shit. And on top of that, it's really easy to cancel somebody that didn't have a career to begin with. So like it's easy to cancel me. I ain't got 6,000 followers on Twitter,
and that took a minute.
Yeah, took a minute.
Yeah, and the crazy part about it is, and we say this all the time when me and you just talking like even off air. The shit you say that has nothing to do with music is the shit that goes all the way up.
Yeah, like I'm looking at one. I looked at one tweet. It's got 59,000 retweets.
Mm-hmm.
Like that has nothing to do with music. And it's like I'm easy to cancel. I would venture to say, like, even up to a certain level of celebrity, Ella May's easy to cancel if she say the wrong thing.
Right.
If she jump crazy,
right?
If she jump crazy, it's gonna be over.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah.
Summer Walker, it's easy. to do.
People mad at Ella May because she couldn't name 3 Aretha Franklin songs.
Yeah,
we are definitely in an age where it's easy to be like upset at shit and easy to kind of feel a way about anything, and we start projecting our own shit on it. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure
they canceled OG Mako. But that's easy to have. Yeah. But that's easy to do.
What did he do? I forgot.
I forgot what he did, but but it didn't work.
It didn't work.
Okay.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. And then
we ain't heard his name.
Then, I know at your regular 9 to 5. I mean, they talking Tom Izzo.
Yeah.
And trying to get Tom Izzo out the paint because he balled up his fist. Yeah. And looked like he was about to steal off on one of his players, and he had to get restrained by his own players because he's like, "Yo, coach, you tripping."
Yeah, we gonna talk about that later.
You tripping?
Because I have my own thoughts about that.
In regards to, bringing it back to Cardi, like we are talking about things in a video set in hypothetical situations she said she did,
I think,
but you can't really prove. And like whatever saying surviving Cardi B is a hashtag and mute Cardi B, I'm like.
Well, I think a lot of that was kind of like a joke. It was just jokes, and it was just like, because I laughed. I was like, "Oh, y'all niggas is ready to tell y'all story." Okay, cool. But like,
hey man, I'm sitting here trying to surviving Ticketmaster to get these damn Anita Baker tickets. Yes. I'm ready to tell my side. Okay.
I think Cardi, and it's not the first time she's done this. Cardi has a tendency to overshare.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things that she talks about. Some of it might just be funny and cool and it's jokes, and it's just like, oh, she's just, she's like a comedian almost. But like, there's some things that like I never had to know that you used to rob niggas and drug them. I never had to know that you ever thought about like trying to like sneak a trans woman in that has like that is not the part of the journey that I care about. Like, yeah, you had to strip. Maybe you did some other unsavory things to get by. I mean, it's just like I know Hove has talked about these things, but Hove doesn't necessarily have to. There's kind of a way you could tell the story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Hove shot his own uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hove shot his uncle.
No,
but
brother, he shot his brother.
But his brother was a crackhead. Like, his brother was tripping. And he shot his brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. And I know that rappers, like even, like, I never want to hear rap niggas talking about how they drugged a girl and took her home. I don't have to know that, bro. Like, I don't ever have to know that. Like, because if you're gonna tell me that in a rap and try to get me to dance to it, I'm not with that. Like, I'm not gonna dance to that, bro. Like,
I'll be straight Goody Mob with it. They don't dance no more.
Yeah,
like
this. But how do y'all feel about? And this is going off tangent, I know, but when Webby had that song, "Give Me That."
In 2005,
a lot of
jamming.
people dancing to that.
In 2005, I was jamming. Even like there's on one of the lyrics is "I'll rape that ass."
Yes.
Like, fam, are you serious?
Picky.
And Webby says a lot of like Webby does that on the red carpet with people that are interviewing him.
Yeah, Charlotte McGay.
Charlotte McGay, the God. What red carpet was that where he was telling the girl, "I got a big day"? Like he kept saying it,
something like that.
And I said, "What are you?"
You remember the Walmart interview?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, like if you do, Ryan, you got to look up Webby at Walmart.
Yo,
Webby's one of them interviews, man. But
Webby's a weird guy.
There's certain records like that. Like I can't listen to.
But then I also look at Webby as like, Webby knows good and damn well that he will never be the stature of other rappers.
Yeah.
He makes his music for the hood nigga down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Like down the street in Baton Rouge. Like,
yeah.
He don't really care if niggas in New York love him. He don't care if dudes on the West Coast love him. He care about Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi,
and Florida, and Georgia.
Yeah.
Like,
he care about the side.
The side, baby.
But like, I don't, like, he don't ever want to be that. It's like we wouldn't necessarily appreciate 2 Chainz if his name was still Titty Boy.
Yeah.
No matter how much of a gospel record Duffel Bag Boy is.
Yeah.
It's a gospel record.
I just feel like there's certain artists that know exactly what they want to say all the time, and they don't care, even if it's not like in a thing that makes a difference to them. Like if it's something that might be controversial to them, they might feel a certain way. But it's like, you might be mad at me, but I never, like, okay, cool. Don't book me for this show that I would have never gotten booked to anyway. Like, don't, like, before this, I wasn't trying to be there. Like, what you gonna do? Not invite me to the Met Gala?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be at the Met Gala. I don't even have an outfit that would that would fit the Met Gala. Or don't nominate me for a Grammy? Fine, I don't care. Like, there's some artists that are like that, but then there are other artists that, you know, like, Cardi has to learn at some point that sometimes oversharing can be to her detriment.
Yeah.
I also think that it's probably not a good idea to tell people that you drug them and send trans women or men or whatever into a room with him as retaliation.
Honestly, I'm surprised that clip didn't get more play.
That didn't get more play. It was just like, oh, we just robbing. Like, bro, dudes that don't pay for sex, rappers, get their jewelry stolen by women that come to the hotel room with them because they don't put it in the safe or whatever it is. Like, it's like, that's not a new thing. Guys be out here moving wrong. But this is also like a case of like Omar from The Wire.
Yeah.
Omar, if you've never watched The Wire, guys, The Wire is about the police in Baltimore, the drug trade in Baltimore, the drug dealers in Baltimore, and then there's one guy in Baltimore who robs the drug dealers.
Yeah.
He don't run up in people's houses and people's grandma's houses and steal their shit. He robs the drug dealer. Why? Because what are you going to do? Tell the cops that somebody stole $100,000 of my money and 16 kilos of my cocaine?
Yes.
Like, what are you going to do? Right? So, like, even with Cardi, like, even if you're talking about robbing people, it's like, what man is going to come forward and say,
yeah,
man, I bought some, I was going to purchase some ass and she robbed me. Like, that's a crime too. Yeah. So, like, it's just like,
you're legit implicating yourself in something that you don't
So basically,
in other words, by coming out, you were literally blowing up your own spot in ways that you probably shouldn't blow up your spot. So you, like, this is one of those rare instances. Well, not rare, because this is a very popular stance. Take your L's in silence.
Yeah, but also maybe not tell everyone that you're giving out those types of L's.
Yeah.
Like
this might say both things can be true here. Both things can definitely be true.
Because just the same as any male rapper can get their lyrics read to them in a courtroom, it can be done to a woman too. Like, they got female prisons too. So like, and let me tell you something. There ain't no Fenty Beauty in jail. So oversharing is not a thing that we should all just necessarily. It's kind of like when ASAP. Remember ASAP was talking about being in jail? Yeah, niggas was slipping on semen and like, what are you talking?
No.
ASAP.
The wildest story about jail is still Boosie.
Oh man. Oh man, I won't go home, man. That boy said, oh man. Yo. Come on, man. I said, yo. But yeah.
Did you see his post about Jussie?
No, I didn't. No. Now, you know what? Let's get to that. Okay, so look.
Perfect transition to Jussie.
We were talking about,
because Boosie was like that. Did you powerful thanks to you?
Oh yes, I did see that. Yeah. I did see that. Look,
I was like, Boosie, no.
So also for those who've been living under a rock for whatever reason, Jussie got all 16 counts. I'm not going to say they were dropped. I think that a few of them were dropped. And
they were all dismissed, right?
Yeah, but
he still had to pay like restitution back to the city.
You paid the
he forfeited his bond.
Yeah,
forfeited the bond. You paid the 10% of your bond, which was $100,000. You had to pay 10. You did community service, and then they got the charges dropped, but you asked that the record be sealed. Jussie is fucking lying, dog. Like, he's lying. He's lying. No person, and I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why I say that. Nobody in the history of life that is innocent is asking their records to be sealed.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing that.
Which, ironically,
Stephen Avery from Making a Murderer, his records are not. They're not asking for his records to be sealed. He wants everybody to see that he's innocent. The Central Park Five, them niggas was innocent.
Yeah.
You can look up those court records right now. They're not asking those to be sealed. They like guilty niggas don't even ask their for their records to be sealed a lot of the time.
Yeah, no.
Like it's just common knowledge a lot of times.
Because, you know, if you are, for example, since you compared yourself to Tupac was pretty proud of the fact that he shot 2 cops.
Yes.
In self-defense.
Yes.
And got off.
We talk T.I., for instance, like everybody has their thoughts about T.I. and the things that he does and things that he says and all that kind of stuff. One thing I know about about T.I. is that if you look up T.I.'s court documents, all that shit about niggas saying he snitched and that's how he got shorter sentences. No, he got shorter sentences because he's rich and he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Jussie Smollett got off because he's rich, and he can do that.
Political connections, I think, was the main thing.
Yeah. Okay. All of these things can be true. The Chicago Police Department is not trustworthy, which is why they had a mole in the police department, and they were giving information to the media before it actually came out.
Yeah. There are people who got fired from hospitals because they leaked this dude's medical information to the public.
Right. We know that. We also know that ain't nobody robbing you at -30, and then you telling everybody it was a white guy or 2 white guys, and then they come out to be Nigerian. They weren't even light-skinned. They was dark-skinned Nigerians. Like, I want people to understand that this is not people gonna say, oh, we got the charges dropped, so that means, y'all didn't believe him. Y'all didn't believe him. You know who else got his charges dropped? R. Kelly.
Robert fucking Kelly.
R. Kelly got 21 child porn charges dropped, And if you've seen the video, that's fucking R. Kelly pissing on a 14-year-old.
True.
You know who got acquitted? OJ. And I think we know he did that shit. Like he did that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people walking the earth right now
who got off
with drop charges. So like, put it like this. Put it like this.
They got off on technicalities too.
Yeah. Put it like this. Everybody that wants to believe rape victims all the time. A lot of those people's, a lot of the assailants charges get dropped, or they never even see court. A lot of people don't do any jail time. So you can't tell me that because Jussie got his shit dropped, that all of the things that he lied about is just something that he wasn't lying about. Yeah. Because these things happen all the time.
Yeah.
And nobody even on his side of the fence is even remotely intelligent either, because after you get that charge sealed,
might have been a white face.
You're supposed to shut up. You're supposed to shut the hell up. Don't do what OJ did.
Yeah.
Put out a book.
If I did it.
Don't do that.
Don't.
You're
also don't have your attorney come out here saying, well, maybe they were in whiteface.
They could have been in whiteface.
The problem is Jussie has to have a career after this. He can't just go and not do anything.
But how
are you going to do that?
He has to act like he was a victim still. He can't just come out and say, hey, I lied.
He got to go on a victim tour.
Yeah.
The reality of it is that it's a victim tour, yes. But in his words, it's a vindication tour.
Yeah.
Look here, Jussie. You need to go to a place where you're not allowed to speak for a certain amount of time. You need to stay there.
Yeah.
Because you're lying. And we know you're lying. And you're insulting a lot of people's intelligence too. Yeah. Some of the people that I think still believe this guy can't be very intelligent. Like you cannot possibly look at all of the things that are going on in this thing. And like, yes, it is very true. You can know that the Chicago Police Department is corrupt and trash. You could also believe, like we know that, but we didn't have to magnify that with a lying ass Jussie.
Yeah.
Like, we knew they was lying when they shot Laquan McDonald.
Yeah.
We knew they was corrupt when they let the guy who shot him off.
Yeah.
We knew they was corrupt when they've done nothing in the hood when it comes to the violence over there. Like, they've done nothing. They've done Chicago police has been trash for God knows how long. Like, Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in America. Like, I had to figure out, like, every black person that I met from Chicago tells me they from the Chicago to west, from the south side or the west side. And I'm like, why is everybody from the damn south side? Why is everybody from the south side? Well, that's because where all the black people are. Ain't no black people on the east side of Chicago. They ain't even really an east side of Chicago. None of those black people live downtown. Like,
tell me, ain't the east side of Chicago Gary, Indiana?
Pretty much. Yeah. There's no. Like, I had to realize that, it's kind of like, it's even worse than, like, anybody that you meet from Houston. They always say they from Southwest Houston.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're not really from the Southwest. But the thing is, like, for every 5 people that say they from the Southwest, I can meet 2 that are from the North Side. And then for every 5 people on the Southwest, I know that I can meet, 1 on the East Side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can always do that. Yeah. But, like, Chicago, black folks stay on the South Side and the West Side, and that is it.
Yeah.
That is it.
Like,
unless they just rich. Like, so I know that Chicago is one of the most segregated. Like, they was telling me, the Italians live over here, and the Jewish folks live over here, and the black folks live way back there.
Redlined like a motherfucker.
Yeah. So, like, I know that Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in America, with one of the most corrupt police departments in the country, probably behind the NYPD and the LAPD. I know that. Yeah. I know that. I don't need you to lie about something that happened to you for us to for us to see that. I don't need to see that. Like I just watched the kid get shot 16 times on camera, and they threw that shit on YouTube.
Yeah, and the dude that did it only got 6 years, and may get less years. Depending on
but then all the people that falsified the reports, all the other cops that were there are walking free.
Yeah,
making a sandwich at the crib. Like that's like I know that. I don't need you to tell me that some fake ass MAGA niggas beat you up outside of a Subway and you kept the noose on until the cops got there.
But see, part of that I think is why I think people kind of side with Jussie now. Like, for example, I pretty much thought he was lying from the second I heard the details of the story. But also, I don't really care that he lied now because you see how emotional and charged up the cops are getting. Mm-hmm. The mayor is out here making statements. The president is out here making statements. And it's like, y'all, okay, you wasted time and resources. It happens. This is not the first false claim this week probably for you guys. And the fact that they're going so hard for it and acting like it's the biggest problem in a city when you're in Chicago and we all know what's going on with the murder rate over there. Y'all got bigger problems than Jussie lying about something.
Yeah, we do have bigger problems, but like this nigga wasted a lot of people's time.
But
you wasted a lot of people's time and a lot of resources and a lot of shit like during that time, something else could have been done for somebody else. Like we could have given that. Like for all we know, another kid might have gotten shot in his last month from a cop. We don't know that shit because Jussie running around here, telling folks that somebody beat him up and he held on to his sandwich, like that. I get it.
Which is probably the greatest advertisement for Subway I've ever heard.
Open till 2 a.m.
Open till 2 a.m. Like, look, man, I am willing to, after I got my ass beat, I'm still willing to have your sandwich.
I'm gonna still keep this sandwich though.
I'm still
in a polar vortex.
I'm gonna still keep this tuna melt.
Walking in with the noose on your neck.
On the neck.
Bleach on your
nothing
skin.
wrong with it. Like it's not, like you went to TV Johnny got a
you
chain.
got salami grease on your. You got salami grease on your neck, on your face because you want to get the $5 foot long.
You don't even have that no more, man. Subway whack now.
Oh, they don't?
Nah.
Well, first of all, Subway's been. Let's be clear. Subway's been whack for many years.
But when you were broke, when I was broke, at least it came in the clutch sometimes. But now they got rid of the $5 foot long, so they whack. Fair enough. Cereal. but nah, like that. That's just Jussie, you're lying. Stop talking. You're not helping. Your lawyer's not helping, and now the feds are investigating your drop charges. Yeah.
So this isn't over for you, buddy. Just stop. And like, fam, Empire's not that good. Empire's not that good for you to just be out here.
Empire's one of them shows where, dog, if you miss one episode, you're not going back.
You're definitely not going to go back. It's just like
I haven't I met a person that said I binged watched an entire season of Empire.
No, you're not.
Yet to meet that person.
And what's crazy about it is I still watch it, and it's grand. It has gotten so much worse.
Yeah.
Even though I have friends on the show, Kayla Simone, she's from here. I forget the name of her character, but she's on the show.
Is that the girl? I think that was the one that was at ESG's show. Kayla Simone, is that the one that what does she do on the show?
She's a singer on the show.
Is she the one that
got into it on like a red carpet or some shit?
Yeah. That's the girl that used to be like the social worker or something like that.
Yeah,
like she used to go to prison and work. Yeah. ESG
Look,
had her at South by.
Yeah, okay. I'll put it to you like this, dog. I haven't really cared about Empire since Snitch Bitch. Since Chris Rock came on there.
Yeah. And so, you know, what's crazy about Empire is that the music never got better.
Nah.
And I know there's some really, you know, prominent producers making that music and shit like that, but they got to stop it. They got to stop it.
Would you work with them if they contracted you?
Not under that contract out that they had them under when they first started. I'm not. You can't release music. You can't, you know, unless it's under Empire and the label deal that they have with, you know,
right.
all right.
Well, I got a question. Then, speaking of licensing music, right? So, right now, I think the best way to kind of discover like undiscovered like R&B singers in particular, and R&B undiscovered hip hop artists, is having your music be on a soundtrack to a hit television show.
Yeah,
like Nobody was on She's Gotta Have It, right? Victoria Monet, she's on tour with Ariana Grande, but like she did a remake of The Glow from The Last Dragon, and that was on Insecure.
No shit.
Right. Yeah, there's this record by Lucky Day, R&B cat out of New Orleans.
Yep.
That was unreleased from Boomerang. That came out I think 2 Tuesdays ago. Yeah. And everybody been trying to find this one damn record, but he has not released it yet. Mm-hmm. Which kind of goes to demand, like, yo, that shit was fire. What the fuck, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what is I remember you telling the story about how like you submitted music to Spike for the show, mm-hmm. but what is it like? I'm saying, like, how does that process go, like, afterwards, right?
It depends.
And also, do you get paid for that song being used for the show?
So, with Spike, the deal was a one-time payment to use it in perpetuity, which means, for those that don't know what perpetuity means, you'll see it a lot in legal jargon. Perpetuity basically means forever. So, anytime you watch the episode that my music is on She's Gotta Have It, every time you watch that, it doesn't matter. I don't get paid for it because I've already gotten paid that one time. Mm-hmm. It all depends on your licensing situation. There's another situation on the table for me to get music license for a show. I'm not gonna say yet, because we'll probably see it next Saturday. But there's a situation on the table where they'll license the music for 6 months for a flat fee. Then there's the licensing of like whatever you work out with a commercial. Like, I would venture to say that maybe there's a way for you to get paid every time they run the commercial, or get paid for every time they know that they're going to, like, if they know they're going to run it 600 times in a year,
right?
They maybe have a deal for that because they know they're going to run it for so many things. There's a process. It ain't easy because you that's where pub deals come into play, and just knowing people, having relationships with people come into play. So I think I've said it on this show that, like, as an artist, you're not really making money unless you are doing shows or sync licensing.
Yeah.
So a guy like Sir Mix-a-Lot may not have to perform all the time, but he licenses that music. He licenses. I would say, if I were to guess, I would think that Sir Mix-a-Lot probably licenses Baby Got Back at least 10 times a year. Mm-hmm. He's made over $100 million on that song, and he owns 100% of the rights to that. Like, he don't split that with nobody. He owns the publishing. He owns all of that stuff. So when you don't own your publishing, artist, you don't really have anything. You might have a hit record. I mean, shit. Because when you can't make another hit record, or when you stop making those hit records and nobody's trying to get you for shows anymore, mm-hmm. and then you don't own the publishing to your music, you're screwed.
But here's the question, and I know this can go down a rabbit hole, but what should you do if you're a new artist? Because even though there's an illusion that you can make it independent, I think the game is still rigged, and you have to be signed to really blow up on a certain level. And mm-hmm. to get a record deal, no record label is just going to give you your publishing.
Nah.
Well, I'll say this.
Well, you speak to it as an artist. I'll speak to it from a
You don't necessarily have to be signed. You just need money. That is the key.
Yeah.
Because when you get signed, you're just using their money.
Right.
The reason why Chance the Rapper is not signed It's because his daddy's rich.
Yeah.
Great artist, great rapper, great albums, talented guy. Take nothing from him. But your dad's also rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't just meet Barack Obama because you were a really good artist. Your dad worked for Barack Obama. So you could have met Barack Obama anytime. You know what I'm saying? Like that there's a difference, right?
Right.
What's the other one? The white boy, Macklemore.
Okay.
Macklemore was not poor when he put out his music. You know what I'm saying? Lil Dicky was not poor.
No.
You know what I'm saying? When it comes to now, with that being said, though, there are artists. I can't necessarily tell you how they do it because I'm not sure. Because if I knew, I'd be doing it. But like, there's some artists that literally came from nothing and they just had a catchy song and it blew, and now they're being thrust in this light. And again, it goes back to artist development and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They end up going on these shows and they either good or they're bad, and then you don't hear from them no more, or maybe you hear from them for the next 2 or 3 years, and who knows. But what it comes down to is, if I am, what a label will do to, and I'll be honest with you because I heard that this week. Someone told me that they're not getting any bites on my music when it comes to like labels and stuff like that, because I don't make the type of music that they're looking for at this moment. And what they're looking for is quote unquote mumble rappers, or these, catchy trap niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Or, the moody, like vibey R&B nigga that doesn't like kind of sing from an aspect of soul, or like a easy two-step.
They're just vocalizing.
They're vocalizing rap tracks, basically.
Right. So that was his take on it. Somebody that I worked with.
Right. Like the only person I can think of like from R&B to like it's like kind of a little bit of both is this cat out of Philadelphia named Pink Sweats. But then again, I think Philly niggas that can sing is a cheat code anyway. Shout out to Boys and Men.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is a code, just a cheat code. But and they were saying, and a lot of times what these labels are saying, and I'll just be honest with you, these people that work at labels are lazy. They don't develop artists anymore. They don't want to spend the money. They and they keep their email. That's all they want is the @universal.com, @defjam.com, @warner.com. They don't care about developing artists. And a lot of times, I've been saying this, the best thing to do when you work for a label is don't sign nobody. Because you can't be responsible when the album flop, or if their album flops. So they just don't sign nobody. So a lot of these people aren't even doing the job that they're there to do, right? But what they'll do is they'll say, well, if you have, the first thing they'll ask an artist now is like, they're not even going to ask you like, can you play instruments, or, let me hear this song or whatever. They just want to know how many followers you got.
Right.
And if you got 7,000 on Instagram like I do, that's not enough. If you've got 15,000, they might could do something with that, maybe. If you got 100,000 by yourself, that's fine. But if you got like 1 million because you because of everything but your music, or whatever it is, whatever the situation is, then they want something to do with you because they feel like they can monetize on that. But here's the thing, artists, listen to this. If you have 500,000 followers, if you have 1 million followers, you don't need a label. You don't need a label for shit. So why it is the music industry is the
Do you think follows and
they don't translate. They don't translate
because basically if you're having follows, that's like in digital terms, that's saying you have impressions. Just say you have reach, right?
Yeah.
But also that's saying like if you have 500,000 people that follow you on any particular social platform, you would think that 500,000 people will retweet your song. That 500,000 people would shout out, would share your song and say, "Yo, this dude's dope. This dude got next." Right? Nah,
they're not gonna do it.
Like,
and on top of that, and you can be good.
You can be fire, amazing.
You can be good, but if they don't know you for that, or if they don't care about that, they just not gonna. They're not gonna care.
Yeah.
But what they do, and I'll tell you, it's a couple of labels out there that pride themselves in throwing money your way on viral sensations.
Mm-hmm.
And Atlantic is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Atlantic thought that was what Cardi B was going to be. Cardi just ended up being just exploding. Like, they didn't think that Cardi B. Not one person at Atlantic is going to sit up here and tell me that Cardi B was going to win a Grammy.
Especially not the Gangsta Stripper Music 1 or 2.
Yes. Nobody was signing Cardi B and saying this girl's going to win a Grammy. They said this girl is on Love and Hip Hop. She got a funny personality. She got a bunch of followers on Instagram. We're going to try to monetize this.
I got to disagree with that. Because Atlantic put the battery in Cardi's back, man.
No. I would say
I'm not saying
they
that.
I would say this. They didn't put the battery in her back until they saw Bodak Yellow explode from being just a club record to an everywhere
But they
record.
didn't. But I guarantee you, the conversation was not, Cardi,
No.
you are going to be the biggest female hip hop artist out right now, or in the next year or two, if you just follow me.
Yeah.
They said, you got a lot of followers. You got a huge following. We're going to try to monetize off of this.
Right.
You want to know how I know that? Because they also signed the Catch Me Outside girl.
Yeah.
They also signed Trinidad James.
Yeah.
They gave him $2 million. They also signed that was Def Jam. That was Def Jam.
I was like, wait, that was Def Jam.
Who else was on? Who else has been? Atlantic. If you look at their roster today, Atlantic is full of people that are viral sensations.
But when you look at Cardi's album, her debut album, it was different than theirs. You can tell she had tracks with Bruno. Like, she was put on a platform that none of the other acts you mentioned were put on.
Right.
So I think their approach with her was different.
But it was because she went out and figured out a way to get herself hot. I guarantee you.
Outside the label.
I'm pretty sure that the Bruno song that she was on did not happen until it was undeniable that she was what she was. Like, Bruno wasn't looking at her after her first mixtape and being like, I'm gonna work with her one day.
Fair
That's
enough.
not happening.
Nah.
So a lot of the times, these artists, you can see when it's about to happen. Like, you can see when you know that, okay, maybe I don't know which artist it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But they're gonna get a great look from somebody.
Exactly. There are alternatives, right? So when you have Cardi at Atlantic and she blossoms up post Bodak Yellow, making and breaking all these different records, you also have Iggy Azalea.
Yes.
And Iggy had a #1 record with Fancy.
Also signed to Atlantic.
Yeah.
And then dropped by Atlantic.
Yeah. Why? Because that album did not do what it was supposed to do, and then the subsequent the subsequent tour did not do what it was supposed to do.
Trash. And then they realized that, like the I don't know the little white boy's name that be dancing.
The Backpack Kid?
No, not him. He got a record deal too, don't he?
He do have a record deal, yeah.
Why? But anyway, there's like another kid. He's like 9.
Someone that at Walmart? Oh, somebody else?
The little chubby kid.
dancing.
Okay.
The little chubby kid. And he talking about he's had a few labels offer him 6-figure deals.
Damn.
You don't rap. And I guarantee you one of them is Atlantic. I guarantee you one of them is Atlantic. And again, like I said before, I try to handle these things in a certain amount of care because I never want to look like the guy that's just like, you're an artist and maybe this person ain't trying to sign you or that person ain't trying to sign you, so you just look like a hater. Yeah. Because in the end, if you gave me, like, bro, you ever flown a plane before in your life?
Yeah.
Like a jet?
Not private.
I'm saying, like, have you ever steered a plane, like flown
No,
one?
of course not.
Okay, look, if I walked up to you today and I said,
not even on Spirit? You ain't flew a Spirit plane before?
because you know you got to fly that, you got to fly that plane by yourself. But like, if I walked up to you and said, and I pulled out a bag and I said, in this bag is $2 million. I want you to go out there, look at that 747 jet, and I want you to fly it from here to Austin without crashing it. If you fly it to Austin, you get $2 million cash. Are you flying that plane?
Hell no.
But you're going to think about it. You're absolutely going to think about it. Even if I said, look, We'll even give you a crash course. We'll give you a little flight simulator on iPad. It ain't that hard. Even if they say, look, you can get it up in the air, we'll put it in an autopilot. You got to fly that plane, though. That's the only way you're going to get that $2 million. Not even that. How about $2 billion? How about $500 million? How about whatever? Are you thinking? You're going to think about it.
Yeah.
You're 100% going to think about it. It's the same thing they do with these athletes, these one and done athletes. Like, yeah, like, bro, I'm broke. I'm from, wherever. I'm from Magnolia Projects. I'm from Bed-Stuy. I'm from Compton.
Third Ward.
Anything that you give me right now is better than what I'm doing. Anything that can keep me from drugging niggas and robbing them in the hotel room. Mm-hmm. Anything that you give me is going to be fine. So I can't be mad at those guys because you offered me the money. If I handed Brando $100 right now, he's taking the $100. It don't matter if I just say, here, man, bro, hey, just take it. He's not gonna be like, yeah, but I mean, I didn't do anything for it. No, nigga, you probably gonna take the $100. You'll be like, thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
that's all they're doing is these niggas signing deals and they like, thank you. Now what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So I'm never mad at the guys, at the people that are taking money that can ultimately change their lives. Yeah. What I'm disappointed in with a lot of the music industry is people pissing away money on things that don't matter.
See, speaking of pissing away money, how can you be an artist that is set for life because you have a bona fide wedding song? Like a straight up wedding song forever. Like they gonna play this for 20 years from now. It's gonna be you, Stevie Wonder, Babyface. Like wedding songs. And you get on IG Live drunk discussing race and issues that you are clearly out of your class about.
Oh, we gotta talk about this now.
While having a busted fade and blonde hair. Daniel Caesar, come to the table. Come to the altar. We have to have this conversation.
I actually forgot about that until you just said that.
Oh no, no. This has been heavy on my heart for a few weeks now. Even though it happened, I'm like, you know what? Look, man, between jussie line or feeling vindicated, let's let him have his little space. I know how you feel.
I think Daniel Caesar is very much a guy.
Very gay, according to Dave.
Yeah.
very
you heard
gay.
him sing, yes, very gay. That was hilarious. Daniel's the kid who probably wasn't very cool in high school, wasn't very popular guy.
No. And that was probably based on his looks.
And he was probably very talented doing what he did, but he was probably always the weirdo.
Yeah.
And he blew up based on his music and
it was like the T-Pain effect in a sense because when I'm Sprung first came out, you had no idea what T-Pain looked like. Then you saw the video, it's like, oh, okay. I mean, when you heard "Get You," you're like, oh, this is a fire ass record.
Frank Ocean.
Then you see the video, but then again, I saw Daniel Ocean
Frank Ocean. It was a Frank Ocean. It was a Frank Ocean.
I know how you feel about Frank Ocean. We will not get on that today.
No, we're not gonna do that.
We ain't getting on today.
But Daniel
looks like the back of a Buick. I understand, but still,
Wait, did you say Frank Ocean looked like the back of a Buick?
No, I said Daniel Caesar.
Daniel Caesar looked like the back of a Buick.
The back of a Buick. Yes.
Somebody said it looked like a flat tire. But I think
a busted up Timberland.
When you finally get some people that are quote unquote the cool kids that you always wanted to hang around, giving you attention, you feel the need to defend them, even if that girl is a complete goofball. Like she's trash. But like, I think one of the things that was telling to me was when he said that the white people were the winning team.
That was the one that had me like, okay, bro, you need to sit down somewhere.
So he's not, again, Daniel is one of those artists who didn't do a lot of artist development. Your music's good. I've never seen your show, so I can't say whether or not your show is good.
We had him last year for a show we had it with the boss called Break the Internet. It's him and Tiana Taylor.
Was it good?
Yeah, live. He's
so
good.
Live. You're good. Your music's good.
Interview wise,
you have no media training, and I'm not saying that with media training. I do understand that there's a level of like political correctness that people have to have when they and don't say this and don't say that and all of those things. Like, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is media training is just being able to like say things that won't completely alienate the fan base that got you there. Like, if you feel a certain way about black people, why are you like? You have to understand that black people are the reason why you're here.
Yeah.
Black people are the reason why you make the music that you make.
Yeah.
Like, the music that you make was created by black people.
Yeah.
Those same black people that have those same struggles that all, mention these things and sing about them and all that kind of stuff. And you want to tell them that we play the victim.
And in particular, black women. And in particular, you're uplifting a woman who has made a career
out of downing black
women.
So what? Well, I don't want to get too far into the Yes Jules thing, but do y'all think her intentions were wholly bad? Because we've had her be co-signed by people whose opinions we usually value. LeBron James shouted her out. She's worked with the whole good music camp. Basically, she found 070 Shake. It seemed like her intentions were good at one point. So
she's a clown.
No,
okay, fair
she's
enough.
She's a clown. She's because we also don't know what happens during that time of like.
So is everybody
I haven't seen him. I ain't seen LeBron say nothing about Yes Jules lately.
True.
I haven't seen. If you let Joe Budden tell it, she was in Africa and somehow she ended up back at home.
Yeah, but Joe Budden at one point loved her. Like,
no,
she was on his podcast.
Joe was. He brought her on the show. I remember that episode. She was on a show, and he was like talking to her and just chopping it up with her, trying to figure out what it is that she actually does.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't really necessarily think that he was like loving her.
Now, I didn't mean literally. Yeah. I meant like he
especially over those jeans. Yeah, especially over those jeans. But
yeah, no. But like I think.
Go ahead.
When it comes to Jules, she's a clown.
Yeah,
she's one of those people that wants to be around us and wants to be able to say that she knows a bunch of us, but doesn't understand us at all, and doesn't understand the type of people that she's leeching on. Like, when you can't understand why black women think you're trash for downing another black woman that in all intents and purposes does more than you and you're in the shit that you think in this culture, or when you feel like when you have this thought about you that says, oh, well, I black women don't like me because black men like me.
Yeah.
That's not it, fam. They might not like you because you're an asshole. And when you continue to perpetuate this idea that everybody's just jealous of you, instead of saying, yo, you know what? Let me just figure out what it is that like I do to people, or I say that may rub black people the wrong way. Because I 100% think that before all of this stuff came out that she was talking about, Karen and Scotty and all of them, whatever, like before it got to a point where people just didn't like her, she could have gone to one of them and said, hey, look, I really would like to not be a nuisance. How can I not be a nuisance?
Right.
She did ask Joe Budden how to handle that whole situation when that whole thing with the T-shirt happened. So to some extent, she did try that.
The T-shirt in which after she broke up with her boyfriend who was black, she wanted to wear a T-shirt that said "Niggas be lying."
Oh yeah, nah, fam. Like, first of all, I want white people to understand that there's never a time where you can say nigga. There's never a time where you can even ask someone about like the very fact that you're asking me about whether or not you can or you should wear a shirt that says niggas be lying on it and you're white. Like, the fact that you thought about it is already, you think I should do it? No, you shouldn't.
No.
Like, you shouldn't have thought about it.
Look, I felt a way when I think she's bringing her event she had. She brought it up here to Houston.
When I do remember this, and she said she wanted to pull up in a
low rider. No, she wanted to pull up in a low
rider.
And we were like,
you don't know anything about the culture.
You know anything about Houston culture, but like you want to pull up in a low rider.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like me saying, yeah, man. I'm headed to LA for a show, y'all, man. I want to pull up with some Bloods. I just want, man. Anybody know any Serenos?
Yeah.
Like, fuck out of here. Like, when I go to other cities, if I say anything else, I'll be like, yo, where the food at? Where can I get some good food?
Mm-hmm. Let's say, anytime you're in a brand new spot, you're asking yourself about something that is universal, and hanging around a certain group of people ain't universal.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up in a lowrider in Houston. Talking about?
No,
okay. You're an idiot. So, you're just a corny human being.
What a fat ass. That's it. That your entire claim to all of this is that you're a moderately attractive white woman with a shapely body.
No. She's not even moderately. She looks like you. She does look like Elijah. She does look like Logic. She looks like Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
All right.
Brent Berry.
Joe called that Brent Berry face. Joe called that girl Brent Berry face.
Brent Berry face, Bobby Sura face.
Bobby Sura, yeah.
Dog, like might say she look like Pete Chilcutt.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said she looked like Tony Kukoc. I saw that. I saw that on Twitter. There was I said she looked like Owen Wilson. Then there was feel like somebody called her Jake Gyllenhaal.
Matt Maloney.
Wow. Matt Bullard.
Look, we can go through the list of
white dudes that
used to play for the Rockets.
Rudy Tomjanovich face. Yeah. John Stockton face out here in Utah. Like, she's not that. Yeah. She's not.
But again, I take the concept of being I said moderately attractive. Not to me, but to people who kind of traffic in her lane, blind so to speak. Blind, obviously. Niggas who will give her a pass to say the word just cause. Why, Murder Mook? Why you?
Yes. And that goes to my issue, and that's why I'm not, like, what y'all say is correct, I think. I think she is a clown, but I can't be too mad at her because, and this goes back to some of the comments that Daniel Caesar made in an Instagram Live video. He said we are too mean to white people. I actually think the opposite is true. I think this culture is...
we invite every white person that knows how to dance to the cookout.
Yes. We are too nice to white people who try to enter our culture, and we accept them wholeheartedly.
We voted for Hillary Clinton because she knew how to... She learned how to...
put hot sauce in her purse and all this.
Although, I will say this. Hillary admitted she had hot sauce in her bag. Came at the wrong time for her to really admit that, because I know she really does that. But it came at the wrong time.
Here's the thing about Hillary Clinton.
It dropped at the same time as formation.
And one day, I'm going to have a conversation about the fact that not only did Hillary lose, but she also ran the world's worst campaign.
Yeah. She might be the worst candidate ever because she lost to a black man and Donald Trump.
When you're a white woman and you can't get white women to vote for you,
yes,
that's
So,
but we like when we say like nobody's everybody being mean to Jews. Look, dumb Donald. Nobody's being mean. When people are being mean to Jules, it's because people don't like Jules, and it's not because she's just there. Yeah. It's because she's actually actively doing and saying stupid shit that makes people not like you.
Right. Like you're literally you're supporting somebody. I mean, I get under the whole Rainbow Coalition like kumbaya. You're just like, no. Not everybody deserves to be underneath your rainbow. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
there are people that will be in the rainbow that will self-sabotage and destroy the rainbow.
And there's white people out there that should have to they have to acknowledge when they're getting it wrong.
That's it.
Like,
that's all we want. All we want is accountability.
Yeah.
And the fact you don't have accountability is what screws up a lot of shit.
Just be accountable
for a lot of different ways.
Yeah, man. So, Daniel, shut the fuck up, bro. and on top of that, like, we have this idea, and everybody's just like, well, he's Canadian, he's 23, and he's just ignorant. Like, bro, it's 2019, and there is not an excuse under the sun for being ignorant.
Not just ignorant, woefully ignorant.
There are
about the intersection between black people and white people.
But there have been
in the world.
There are libraries all over the planet.
There's Google.
There
are museums.
If you're even moderately poor, you can find Wi-Fi somewhere.
Yeah.
You really have, like, you don't have an excuse to be ignorant. At this point, you're choosing to be ignorant.
Right.
And the way I know you're choosing to be ignorant is that you go on the internet 2 days later, the same internet where you can Google all the things that you need to know so you can be less ignorant. So you could be less ignorant. And you think, I don't want to apologize, and
then you call somebody up in the middle of the night telling them that I'm thinking about apologizing, and they listen to you and they try to hear you out, and then you double down on the dumb shit even more to the point where you're like, okay, I'm really not apologizing.
Like, bro, you're not doing a good job of making sure that people actually continue to like you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's cool if you want to, perform shows to a bunch of white kids that don't get it. That's fine. Do whatever you want to do. But I was wildly offended just from an artist to artist standpoint, because you don't exist if not for niggas like are you gonna call Marvin Gaye a victim for all the shit he sang about?
Mm-hmm.
Sam and all the things that he went through, or Sam Cooke for all the things that his people was going through? You gonna call D'Angelo a victim for the things that he talks about in his music? Are you gonna call you gonna call Beyonce a victim because she's got a song called Freedom? You gonna call Kendrick Lamar a victim because he
got a record and all right?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, are you even, like, at this point, you're not even trying. Like, at least one thing I can, a thing that I can really respect about Drake is that Drake don't talk about shit he don't know nothing about.
Nope.
I don't expect Drake to go out and speak out against social injustice. I ain't never wanted Drake to do that.
Which is honestly also, I think, why his music's not going to age well.
I mean, it might not, but I also know that Drake ain't here. Drake said he here for a good time, not a long time.
Fair enough.
So I'm not really worried about that. Mm-hmm. Like, Drake is here and occupies a space, right? He occupies a space that, was occupied by someone else before, or whatever it is. I never want to hear. I never care to hear. Like, if he does, cool, and he does it in an eloquent way and a well informed way, and he's like, yo, even if he says, yo, I've been doing all of this for so long, and I just been doing it for me, and now I'm just trying to do it for the people, and I understand the things that everybody's going through. Because even then, I've also seen Drake go up to call out niggas in the room and say, hey, we're not doing that to women in my room. Even if that's it, I'm fine with that, right? Like I don't necessarily care that. I don't care if Drake's a Black Panther. Like, we got those. We got guys that know and understand what's going on and want to speak out about it and want to help people about it. Like, J. Cole does enough of that.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar does enough of that. Jay-Z's out here paying niggas taxes and getting them out of their deals. Like I'm okay with that. Nas has always been that artist.
Oh yeah, that's one of the ones that blew up. We were talking about how Jay-Z's legit living up to his lyrics. Like he's legit living up to and freeing people from bad deals, from terrible situations.
Yeah, but like one thing I'll never hear Drake say is Drake sit up here and act like, you know, I'll never hear Drake say that black folks is out here playing victim. I don't see that, but because your idol Kanye did it, you think it's okay. Because when Kanye came out about that shit last year, who was doubling down for him? Daniel Caesar ass. You know, you guys don't have to do, reunion slavery. You don't have to.
Would you open for Daniel Caesar?
I'll blow his ass off the stage. Okay. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll take it. Give me your money so I can blow you off the stage.
Okay.
But I feel that way about everybody. Like I want to perform better than the headliner all the time. If I'm the headliner, I want to perform better than everyone. I want to do everything better.
And must say to live to that point, the last time I saw an opener completely blow a headliner off the stage was when D-Lo opened for Nipsey. And I love Nipsey. Even if Nipsey gave me the big bro pose when we took a picture together.
Shit.
But thinking I'm 5'6", so I kind of expected that happening. Nipsey's a tall, lanky ass nigga anyway. But D-Lo legit rapped until he damn near passed out on stage.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like he went that hard for that one show.
D-Lo is a hell of a performer. Yeah. And seeing where he's come from, because I was doing shows with D-Lo when D-Lo would forget the words to the song. He did it like 3 times. He did it at Frankie Beverly and Beverly. He did it at Frankie Beverly and Mays. Like he would just forget the words. And I think he was just it was just nerves, and he just hadn't had enough time on stage to really do what he was trying to do. He might have been high, he might have been drunk. I don't know.
It happens.
But it could have been any of that. But like I just want artists to even if you're young, like try to be like responsible.
Right.
Like don't take the platform that you on and then piss it away because you're an idiot. Like if you don't know, just don't say nothing, man.
Right.
Like I seen Ha Davis on Breakfast Club the other day, and they asked him something, I forgot what it was, and he was like, "Hey man, I don't know. Like I don't know, so I'm not gonna, I'm not finna mess up my bag because I don't." Like the best thing to do to any human, for any human, is just to say, "I don't know, bro." Like a lot of times it's the best thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Again, going back to flying a plane, if you ask me, okay, cool, how do I fly this plane? I'm not going to be like, well, shit, maybe you should just like pull that and then hit the button and then hit the little other thing and it's going to take off, and then like maybe if you just pull the shit back, it'll like take off. No. I'm going to be like, fam, I don't want you to die because of me. So I don't know how to fly this plane.
Yeah.
And, you should probably figure out a way. Before you take this $2 million, I think you should probably learn how to fly a plane, because if you don't make it, not only will you die, but you also won't get your $2 million. And that is not okay
at all.